Good morning, everyone. My goal for the next 9 minutes is to convince you that big data is actually really small, and that there is so much more out there just waiting to be untapped because this is a really big world. We are 7 billion people in the world, and the slides are not working. Guys, slides are not working. There we go, thank you. Every day we create 2.5 exabytes of data, and we know that not all data is created equally. But similarly, not all data is distributed evenly throughout the world. And yet, many of us are trying to make the same decisions globally. We are 7 billion people in the world. 15,000 of them are born every hour. And probably less than 2 billion of us actually participate in big data creation. This world moves about $500 billion in cross-border. Can you go back? This is going. There we go. Thank you. In cross-border money transfers every year. And about 400 billion of these end up in developing economies. Just think about it. That is almost twice the size of the software market today. India, China, Mexico, and Philippines receive 35% of the money sent by individuals to friends and family. And another 35% is received by the countries in other countries in Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. These economies are not only receiving billions of dollars in money transfers, but are also where the economic progress is actually happening today. Over the next 3 years, the southern economies will grow at least twice as fast as the advanced economies, and in some cases more than 5 times as fast. With unemployment rates of 4 to 6%, these southern economies are beating the advanced economies, so much so that the world is seeing, likely for the first time ever, voluntary reverse migration, which is flipping actually the flows of money around the world. So the southern economies are a really exciting world, where the growth is happening and where a lot of the change is materializing, but it is a very different world. In this thriving world, data is sparse, unstructured, and typically of very low quality. Plus, people are just not digitized enough to actively participate in big data creation. But many companies like Western Union are trying to make the same decisions in the US, the UK, Japan, Germany today as they are trying to make in Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. However, we are facing many challenges because solutions are generally not envisioned with the diverse local realities in mind. Retailers in advanced economies, and especially in the United States, can easily develop scoring models that determine the microgeographies where the stores can have greater likelihood of success, given the demographic composition of the area. For this location in New York, for example, I know that on average they have less than 3 active bank cards, an income of $125,000 to $150,000, and of course, being Manhattan, 82% of them don't have a car. Based on information like this, I can score the geographies and I can say if it's a good place or not to open a Western Union location, which is very cool. However, if I move to this apartment complex in Mexico City, and believe me, this is a very cool apartment complex there, it's fully wired, everybody's online and whatnot, but I still don't know anything about them. Boundary files are of very low quality in Mexico, there is no mapping to zip code, and there are no robust marketing databases I can tap into. If you keep moving around the world, you very quickly get to countries where there is simply no structured data available, not even the capability to geocode locations in a systematic way. But in these countries, household construction is growing 5 times faster in absolute numbers than it is in the advanced economies. So just think about it. Can't we get geocoding right? Why not start by solving the large economies like China, India, Indonesia, Saudi, Malaysia? One of the most common examples around applications of big data real-time analytics is location services, where a personalized offer can be developed and pushed to the front end from the time I walk into a coffee shop to the time I meet my barista. At Western Union and at many other retail businesses, we're trying to serve the customers exactly the same way and create exactly the same experiences. But the reality in many of the countries we serve is very, very different. So how do you think about location services, personalized customer experience, and big data in situations where penetration of smartphones, for example, is less than half that of the United States? It's exactly the same problem, but it's a very different reality. Yesterday, Eric Colson in his keynote raised the bar on personalization algorithms. I have to say that what he showed was very cool, and let's be honest, we all want to do it. Being able to find things your customers actually want, but they couldn't find themselves, and getting it right every single time. that is really cool. One of the not-so-sexy applications of behavioral targeting is fraud prevention. It is a very real issue for all companies operating in this space. Online retailers typically have access to reams of structured information around individuals' online behavior. Transactional history will be neatly tied to their accounts. Data appends that can augment models' explanatory power will abound. And also, they don't have to ship their goods immediately. So they have a little bit of wiggle room there. Money transfer operators, on the other hand, are trying to make these same decisions, but things are not as smooth when you are the cash ATM of the world. We process thousands of dollars per minute, every hour of every day, crossing the world. If our models fail, the cash is gone, and you can easily lose several $1 million in a matter of minutes. At Western Union, we need to work, for example, with geospatial analytics, name origin probabilities, and more than 800 derived variables to try to figure out in a very real-time manner if a particular transaction is making any sense. Is it within the realm of possibilities to see a transaction from, say, Kalamazoo, Michigan, going to a remote barang in India, or not? Does it make sense that, say, Marcio Alcantara, a Brazilian name, is sending $500 from Singapore to Raj Agrawal, an Indian name, in Santa Lucia? Sounds fishy. But do I stop that transaction and create a disgruntled customer and lose the revenue? Or do I let it go and run the risk of fraud? We hang several $1 million on this type of algorithms, and just think about it. How can we better solve KYC problems for cash pickups in real time? For an industry that today already moves 1.6 times more money than what is expected to be the US online retail spending in 2015. Yesterday, Rajat Taneja got us thinking about how social gaming poses very interesting challenges, and quick decision-making based on playing behaviors, device usage, social media streams, and things like that is very important for this industry. It is not surprising that other industries are trying to use similar data streams to make similar decisions. Social listening, for example, has become an important practice to determine possible future states of our customers' use cases. And obviously, robust solutions about voice and text analytics are fundamental to this process. Now, solving the same problem in an environment where you're dealing with customers in more than 200 countries and territories that operate in more than 80 languages raises the bar significantly. Yesterday, during the booth crawl, I asked an exhibitor about text analytics in languages other than English. And the guy at the booth said, well, if you have all these employees working in all these countries, they must speak all these languages, right? And I just thought, seriously? Is that your solution for non-English text analytics? Today, more than 40% of the social media commentary happens in a language that is not English. 61% of the tweets are not in English. 40% plus of the Facebook postings are not in English. Qzone, a very popular social network in China, has already more than 500 million people posting every day in Mandarin, Cantonese, Taishanese, and many of the other Chinese varieties. And no, having my people visually screen all these postings is not a good idea. Take my own Facebook page. On any given day, I have postings in 4 to 8 different languages. 5 of them I just don't even understand. Right? And don't even get me started with voice analytics. The other day, I was driving back from the mountains, and I wanted to get a room at La Quinta because the road conditions were horrible. And the voice dialing system kept trying to call lacking cocktails. And I said, yes, after the 3rd time, I was really lacking a cocktail, but come on, right? Is my accent really that bad? When are we going to be able to solve for 400 million people that live in a different country that's not their own, that speak the local language, but have an accent? So just think about it. 7 billion people, 5.5 billion of them in a thriving yet underrepresented southern economies, moving $500 billion per year, growing their GDPs 2 to 5 times faster and showing low single digits in terms of unemployment. In economies where big data is big, but just not as clean and structured as we know it, where smartphones reach only 25% of the population, geocoding capabilities are weak at best, and English is not a common language. So how do you solve the problem, the same problems in vastly different realities? By the way, while I was on stage, 2,500 new babies were born, 90% of them in the southern economies. So just think about it. Thank you.